In a distant desert, where the sand whispered old secrets and the stars knew every soul, lived a solitary sage named Elan. He was known across the lands for his clarity of mind and unwavering discipline. People traveled far and wide to learn from him, but Elan had one rule: come with empty hands and leave with a clear mind. One morning, as the sun rose like molten gold over the dunes, Elan gathered his 3 closest disciples. He said softly, "My time in this body is ending. But before I leave, remember this above all: never carry a feather." The disciples looked at each other, confused. A feather? What could he mean? Before they could ask, Elan closed his eyes, smiled peacefully, and exhaled his final breath. After the cremation rites, the youngest disciple, Naren, was restless. "Why a feather?" he muttered to himself again and again. It seemed so insignificant, so random. And yet it was his master's last teaching. An old traveler who once studied under Elan noticed Naren's troubled face. "You wish to know about the feather?" the man asked. Naren nodded. The traveler sat down and began a story. Long ago, Elan was like you, young, devoted, and full of fire. He had renounced the city and sought silence in the dunes. But in the cold nights of the desert, the winds were sharp and unforgiving. One day, a wandering merchant offered him a small favor. "Here, take this feather. Place it in your robe. It will add just enough warmth near your heart." Elan hesitated, but finally agreed. "Just a feather. It won't change anything." But the next night, he felt the cold at his feet. So he accepted another feather to line the bottom of his robe, then a few more for his sleeves. Eventually, he stitched together an entire lining, then a cloak, then a blanket, all made from feathers. The feathers were light, but they grew heavy on his soul. To store them, he built a tent. To protect the tent, he trained a guard dog. To feed the dog, he started keeping supplies. And slowly, the monk who once lived under the stars now lived behind walls. Years later, he caught his reflection in a pot of water and gasped. He no longer recognized the eyes looking back. He had become comfortable, but he had also become lost. He sat down and traced it all back. It hadn't begun with a desire for comfort or attachment. It had begun with a single feather. The traveler looked into Naren's eyes. "Your master's last words weren't about feathers. They were about exceptions. About the little compromises we make, thinking they are too small to matter. The mind does not leap into distraction. It drifts. It starts with one small excuse, one harmless indulgence, one feather. And by the time you notice, you're carrying the whole bird. So be careful with the first, just this once. It's never just once. Even the strongest minds are not defeated by great battles, but by small whispers they choose to ignore." "Never carry a feather, Naren," the traveler repeated, "because the burden that ruins you is always the one you thought was weightless."